April 7th to 13th, 2025. Congregation Bible Study. Chapter 25. I appeal to Caesar. Question 1 and 2. In what circumstances does Paul find himself? Answer. Paul finds himself under heavy guard in Caesarea after being threatened multiple times by the Jews in Judea. Despite his enemies' repeated attempts to kill him over the past 2 years, he has managed to avoid their plans, but they continue to pose a threat to his life. Fearing for his safety, Paul decides to take legal action. B. What question arises regarding Paul's appeal to Caesar? Answer. The question that arises is whether Paul's decision to appeal to Caesar is something that should be followed as a pattern for modern-day Christians, particularly in defending and legally establishing the message of God's kingdom. Question 3 and 4. What was behind the Jews' request to have Paul brought to Jerusalem, and how did he escape death? Answer. The Jews requested to have Paul brought to Jerusalem so as to scheme a plan to have him killed on the way from Caesarea to Jerusalem. However, Festus, the new Roman governor, denied their request and ordered that the accusers come to Caesarea instead. This way, Jehovah spared Paul of this deadly plot. B. How does Jehovah sustain his modern-day servants, as he did Paul? Answer. Jehovah sustains us today by providing us with wisdom, strength, and the support needed to endure challenges and trials. Although Jehovah does not shield us from every trial, he equips us with the power to endure, just as he sustained Paul during his trials. Box on page 199. Roman Procurator Porcius Festus. Our only first-hand information about Porcius Festus comes from Acts of Apostles and the writings of Flavius Josephus. Festus succeeded Felix as procurator of Judea in about 58 CE and evidently died in office after governing for just 2 or 3 years. For the most part, Festus appears to have been a prudent and capable procurator, in contrast with his predecessor, Felix, and his successor, Albinus. At the beginning of Festus' time in office, Judea was plagued by bandits. According to Josephus, Festus made it his business to correct those that made disturbances in the country. So he caught the greatest part of the robbers and destroyed a great many of them. During his tenure, the Jews built a wall to prevent King Agrippa from observing what took place in the temple area. Festus initially ordered them to dismantle it. At the Jews' request, however, he later allowed them to present the matter to the Roman Emperor Nero. Festus appears to have taken a firm stand against criminals and insurgents. But in his desire to maintain good relations with the Jews, he was willing to set aside justice, at least in his dealings with the Apostle Paul.